Walls with bales of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season for such folly, la 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 la.
Man, I didn't know you were such a singer.
Okay, let me know when I can jump on.
I'm going to go and get a hobgoblin. Won't be a second.
All right, go.
Too.
Can I go on the pad, Ryan? And were we live? I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you that are listening now, we'll be up in just a couple minutes. Chris is searching for more libations and shall be back momentarily. All right. Yeah, I can hear something. Let's see. Oh, everybody's out there so far. Man, they're all waiting on us. Oh, it's going to be bad. What the heck is going on, Ryan? I got like 16. No, everything's fine now. I got to turn down the volume a tad. But what has happened is I got like 15 sets of the screen on the pad here. We're good.
You're good. He's good.
Hey, guys, for those of you that are listening, before we start, I'm letting you know this is going to be an interesting show. So, Chris has been hitting the. Hey, Christine, how are you? I see Debbie and Dan Squatch is back. Good to see you, Danny and Ike. Mark's there. Who else is out there? Man, there it is. Okay, where'd Chris go? Oh, it's going to be an interesting night. All right. Oh, Lord.
Sorry.
Oh, boy, this is going to be fun. Okay. We're going to wait. You all ready, Christopher?
Hello.
Oh, my God, no. It's so close to the camera, we can't see what it is, though. Oh, it's a bat. Okay, for those of you... Oh, my God. All right, it's showtime. Let's get this show on the road. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to On the Air with Indian River Hauntings. It's good to see everybody back. Larry Lawson, your host, here with my partner in crime, Christopher Huff, who's already been in. And the bat. Ozzy.
Sorry.
Chris, we can only see from your nose up, by the way, buddy.
Best way.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. Come on, bring your camera down a little bit. There you go. There you go. That's better. Well, guys, welcome back. Some important announcements tonight, and I'll get to that in just a second. As you can tell, Chris has been hitting the beer locker prior to this show, so he is wired for sound. What's the bat's name, Chris?
Roadkill, I think.
Roadkill. Oh, my God. Yeah. Chris is making Wasu. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a fun night tonight, guys. We're going to talk about some stuff, but I want to say hi to everybody. I see we got Mark, as I said, Dan's out there, Ike and Debbie, and hi, Christine. Make sure you tell Christine I said hi. And that's the gang right now. We will go ahead and talk more as more people show up tonight. But want to give my usual shout-outs. First of all, to Chris and I's very good friend, Ike Enzi, the host of IDK Paranormal. Hey, Heather, how are you? Strap in, Heather. This is going to be a wild show. Good friend Ike Enzi, he's the host of IDK Paranormal on YouTube. Chris and I both strongly recommend that you watch that show. It's one of the most interesting paranormal shows out there.
It's the only one I watch. It really is. I don't even watch this, but I watch Ike's.
Wait a minute. What? You don't watch this?
I won't watch this because I'm on it.
Oh, okay.
Look, well, I know me. I'm not going to watch this bollocks. I know me.
Okay. But anyway, IDK Paranormal, please check it out. If you haven't done it yet, do so. Subscribe and like it because Ike just puts on a great show. He's a former cop, retired cop like myself, and he brings that perspective into it. So just a great show. Got a great wife in Debbie and a terrific partner for the show, his daughter Christine. Terrific folks. Can't recommend them enough. So
watch out, she's an MP.
She is an MP. That's
watch
right.
your ass. She's an MP.
That's right. Yeah, serving our country. God bless her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's a tough time to do that for all of us now. I do want to say this, Chris, and I want to be serious for just a second. Folks, our world is in turmoil now. Not going to get into it, not going to get political, but I am asking that everybody please take care of yourselves between the silly things that people are doing, between the coronavirus issue. It's a tough time. Take care of yourselves, take care of your family. Tell the ones that you love them. Make sure you do that every day. It's a tough time. And think about your fellow man. I'll tell you one thing, and Ryan will tell you this also. He's engineering the show again tonight. One thing I always taught my boys, treat people the way you want to be treated. And if you do that, you're going to get through life just fine. But that's about as serious as we're going to get tonight.
Probably. I would like to say thank you to Ryan for all the work he's put in, even though he's got exams that he's doing at the moment and he's babysitting a new kitten.
Yep.
Which is causing all sorts of hassle to him. And he just ran off before the show trying to find it. And I think it's a ghost cat.
Well, let me tell you this. I'm very proud of Ryan. He's about ready to graduate from the University of Central Florida. He had to take an extra semester to do it, so he's doing it this summer. But his girlfriend, Wendy, we had her on the show, is taking her nursing exams Saturday. And she's already been hired as an ICU nurse at the Shands Hospital in Gainesville. So we're very, very proud of Wendy and Ryan. And Ryan and Wendy will be moving to Gainesville. So it's going to be a big change for them. And just want you to know, both Ryan and Wendy love you. So great job. Special announcements. Any shout outs that you want to do right now, Chris?
Anyone who knows me, thank you very, very, very much for tuning in this late at night. If you're in the EU, Mark, Paul, everyone, thank you.
Yeah,
it has meant the absolute world to me.
Yeah, and it has. And that's a great segue into the announcements. Folks, this is going to be our last show for what we were calling this season. Chris and I have been doing a lot of talking, and we're going to end this first season of On the Air with Indian River Haunting tonight, talking about a bunch of things. But it isn't the end. We don't want you to disappear on us. We'll be back in August. Some other changes. We'll be bats. Okay. Oh, boy. We'll be back in August. There's some big changes going on. But the change I want to talk to you about is the format. We're going to be changing the format of the show now that the pandemic is getting over with. We're going to be coming back doing shows on investigations and some of the techniques we're doing on investigations, the evidence we're getting on these investigations. And so it's going to be a little bit of a format. Poor Chris has been staying up past midnight. We've been doing this almost a year now, Chris. Oh, boy. And Chris has just had one too many tonight.
One?
Oh, my God. So... So we're going to be changing up that format, coming back in August with a whole new set of shows. We're going to be getting out a little bit more. We've been stuck in here with the coronavirus. Of course, I got very sick, if you remember, back at the first of the year and was out for a number of weeks in hospital. But with that and the coronavirus, we've been stuck in. We want to get out. We want to start showing you folks what we're doing. And that's kind of what we're going to talk a little bit about tonight is the stuff that we do, the protocols that we and our team, the Florida Bureau of Paranormal Investigation and Indian River Hauntings do, and talk with you guys a little bit about it, get your thoughts. And with that, when we start back up in August, that day in August to be named, we'll just jump right into it with some investigations. Now, stay subscribed to the channel, please, because once we announce the new date and everything, that's where it'll be. I'll be doing a video announcement on it, so please join us. We had a great investigation Saturday night. It was awfully quiet, but our team went out and employed a lot of the new protocols for our companion organization, the International Bureau of Paranormal Investigation and Research, of which Heather out there is now a part of it. And thank you very much, Heather, for joining us in on this tremendous, what we call the Great Experiment. And that's the sort of stuff we're going to be talking about when we get back in August. Investigations, what we're getting, and would sure love to hear about what you guys are getting too. And Ike, I'm going to be watching your show once you start getting out too, and bringing that onto our show and talking about it also. So with that, beer challenge time. All that talking, no drinking.
No
Not that you
drinking.
drink, Kristen. No,
No
no
drinking.
drinking.
No
But
drinking.
in honor of our last show for this season, we're calling this the end of season 1. We're coming back. But
Wouldn't
in honor
bloody
of my
catch me
co-host,
drinking. No drinking. No,
in
no.
honor of my dear friend, my co-host, and my buddy Christopher Huff, I'm drinking a London Porter by Fuller's London Porter. Now, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I did a Fuller's ESB. And it was one of the best beers I ever had. So I got a London Porter. It's a dark beer, which I enjoy. It's only 5.4% alcohol. So it's not really heavy in that sense, but let's give it a taste. Let's give it a taste.
Go on.
Very chocolatey. I like that. Very, very robust. Yeah, I like this.
Good one. I'll have to try it because I haven't tried that.
Fuller's London Porter. Here in the States, you can get it probably at, I got this at ABC Liquors to give them I guess, a cheap plug. Very tasty beer. Very tasty.
Fuller's is a very good brewer.
Yeah.
Fuller's is very good.
But you've got one too, Chris, that you're going to share,
Which
right?
one? Which one? Well, the first one that we had was that, which, can you see? No? Yeah, there we go.
Turn it a little bit there. That's in honor of...
That's in honor of Ike.
Yeah.
So it's a German wheat beer, a Weiss beer. It was very nice, actually. Weiss beer. It was, was sehr good. Sehr good. So I enjoyed that immensely. At the moment, I'm enjoying that incredibly much. The Old Peculiar. Oh, it's very good beer, that.
Yeah, and you introduced that to Ryan and I when we were in
England. I know, and I also introduced this to you, and I'm going to go on to that in a little. Because this is the end of the season, and what the hell?
Yeah, can you believe it's been a year since we were over there, Chris?
Yeah, it's too long. Get over it.
I know. As soon as
we
this...
can't. It wouldn't make any difference because we can't get out to places anyway. We're still in fair lockdown, so. In time. Oh, and Bobby Garcia's joined us tonight. Good to see you, Bobby. Thanks for being with us tonight. I didn't do it, Your Honor. I didn't do it. It was the big boys. It wasn't me. Well, I'm going to tell you, the first stop we're going to make is we're going out to see Ike and Debbie and Christine and Bobby out there in New Mexico. That's going to be the one of the things. Lucky bastard. I'm taking you with us. Oh, so if only. Yeah. So you said you wanted to you wanted me to follow your lead tonight. So you kind of know what I want to talk about, Chris. So I'm going to follow your lead. Protocols. All we got to talk about is protocols. Oh, we're back to that stick. No, the stick has loosened up quite a bit. Thank you very much. No, it hasn't. It hasn't. Yes, it has. Protocols. So, are protocols necessary, Larry? Are protocols necessary? Well, here's my thinking on that. We've chatted about this on the show quite a bit. We have stumbled around this field of paranormal investigation for a couple hundred years now, almost, right? In some cases, at least 100. Wrote her The Dark Side of Nature in 1780 something. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the first treatises on haunted places. And I have a copy of this. I have a third edition of this. Do you really? Yes, I do. I'll let you see this when you come over if you wish. Yeah, just you have to wear gloves though. It's quite valuable. No, yes. So we've been buggering around with the paranormal since 1780. With learned societies going since 1860, 1870. Yeah, in fact, England's got the first. England's got the first official society, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you take the. Oh God, I can't think now. Yeah, I'm going to look it up real quick. Whatever the Fox sisters over in America really sort of kick-started this. So I think we can claim you as this more than. Paranormal. But it's been going on and on and on and on. And it seems to me that every generation seems to want to reinvent the bloody wheel. Because they won't read what the previous generation or two have written. Mm-hmm. And they won't do any research on the topic. And so they go off and do it all again and eventually end up with just about the same conclusions, but never getting any further. And Larry has some valid points about let's do something to make it a little bit more permanent and a little bit more organized, and let's advance the field just that little bit more. So, protocols. Protocols. Well, and I'm interested in hearing what you guys think about this. And once again, it goes back to police training.
I've been told by tons of people, even people that are well known in the field, and that you've even seen, that you've even seen on TV, and they're saying, we've tried to do this, and nobody ever listens. They're going to do their own thing. Everybody has their own way of doing things. So, Larry, you're basically pissing in the wind, for lack of a better term. I'm starting to get like that hobgoblin. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Wow, man.
But
hey, man,
I think
chill. Sorry, keep going. You're doing well. Go for it, man.
Thank you so much. I think you hit it on the head. We really haven't changed.
We haven't changed.
We've gotten some fancy new equipment. Recording equipment has gotten better. We've taken the work of Rodive and Jurgensen and a few of the others in the world of instrumental transcommunication, EVPs, and that's gotten a little bit better. But we haven't done a blasted thing. And if we're honest with ourselves in this field, we're going out, we're doing the same things week after week. Most groups get some evidence. Hey, this is great. Did you hear it? And they forget about it. And a lot of folks like using a piece of equipment. And this is not an equipment bashing. Everybody likes to use their own piece of equipment, and that's cool. But when you use recorders that don't save the data, that you can't transfer the data, what use is it?
What's the bloody point?
So I guess what I'm getting at, what I'm trying to do, and really what the IBPIR is looking for, is collecting this evidence, classifying it, going through it, finding the commonality between that evidence and what other folks do, put it in a place where everybody can look at it and study it, and maybe advance the procedures a little bit. But to do that, you got to have some standardization. You got to have some protocol. You got to have some structure to it. Otherwise, people are doing whatever they want. Now, if you look at any type of scientific experiment, if you take two groups have results, but they've come through it through totally different methods, it's not taken seriously by the scientific society. Would you agree with that statement? If they're
nothing we do is taken seriously by the scientific establishment.
No, I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about general.
Not for want of a scientific method. For the scientific community refusing point blank to accepting anything that we do in the line of scientific inquiry into the paranormal, because they just refuse to accept anything that we say because it might endanger their jobs. And that's the be-all and end-all of it.
Okay.
But you have very, very valid points.
We have to come up with something that allows us to collect evidence in a similar manner. And people like to think that I'm saying, well, you have to do it this way. Well, not necessarily. There are certain things that do need to be common, such as in an EVP, having a proper preamble. Who's there, where you're at, what time it is, what room you're in, what equipment you're using, like a Panasonic tape recorder, something along those lines. So, hold on, I just did something on my screen here. Hold on just a second. There we go. We have to have some basic structure. That way, if the evidence is collected, people can look at things the same way. If, for example, you collect an EVP on a recorder, but another team collects it and they just say, yeah, I heard it and I heard the same thing. Well, how can you actually compare the two? Whereas if they both recorded on a recorder, they've both done everything they can to make sure there's no outside interference or noise. They both put a proper preamble on there so you know date, time, that type of thing. Well, now you've got evidence you can examine and you can compare because there's a commonality to it.
I'm going to do the but, aren't I? I'm going to do the but.
Okay.
The whole but is, now, I totally agree with you on protocols. I totally and utterly agree that there has to be form. It has to be regimented. It has to be brought into line. But the paranormal is this, let's call it entity for a better word. It's this entity, it's this body of evidence which refuses by its very nature to be studied so that you can do an experiment which is repeatable.
Mhm.
Even if you have two recorders going side by side simultaneously, one might record the voice, the
And
other
one might not.
won't.
I agree.
It's not repeatable. But that doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't have a protocol in place to say we should do it this way and see what we get.
I think that's the only
You
way
see,
we're
I
going to
agree with you and I don't agree with you.
And your point's well taken, and that is the mystery of what we're doing. I'm not seeing anybody comment on here in the last 10 minutes. If you guys are hearing us, let us know. I haven't seen any comments on here. Ryan, are we up?
What? Speak up, that man. What?
Ryan, can you hear me?
Hello, Ryan. Stop reading those books and playing with that cat.
Hold on.
Oh, he's in a good mood.
Oh, he is.
Said I was muted.
Are we up?
Should be.
Okay. Well, if you guys can hear us, let us know. Somebody say something on the.
Please post
type it in.
something. Please.
Yeah.
Hello, we're here. Hello.
There we go. Okay, there we are. All right, there we go. Okay. So.
I'm not drinking in vain. There are people out there.
Hear you guys fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm hearing it now. So this is something that I've been preaching about. It's easy to say you're right, and I totally agree. You can have two recorders there at the same time, and because of frequency, vibration, calibration of the two recording instruments, you can get a voice on one and not the other. That's some of the basic beliefs and theories in ITC. Frequency and vibration is super important, and therefore you won't always pick them up on the same. But if you do,
it's got to be tried.
It's got to be tried.
This is the thing that I agree with you. It's got to be tried. When I go onto a site, and I'm talking mediumistic now rather than with a camera and X, Y, and Z, because as I've told you before, I'll have the kitchen sink with me in terms of equipment. And I'll go onto a site and they'll start talking to me and the visions will start and I'll forget to turn the damn stuff on. So there'll be nothing. I actually need someone there doing it for me because
right.
I can't. But finding someone who's going to come with me and who I can trust enough to relax and let them do it is a different matter. But when I get onto a site, I do what I call ranging. And that's almost like sweeping through channels, psychic channels with my mind until I find something. It's like a sort of meditation exercise until you find the vibration that you need to communicate on, because that's where they are. And it's different for every place or a room within a place or everything. Right. You've just got a range. So we've come back to the recording that you took on your Sony recorder for me from, I can't remember the name of the place, but it's something Farms.
Port Farms, we just did it.
Yeah. Where that seems to record higher in hissy upper range terms, whereas the Nikon camera, which I use to record when I'm walking around, records probably a slightly lower frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just finding I get better results with the Nikon. Maybe it's me. Maybe that's what I find works for me. But all these things, this is another aspect of your protocol thing. What equipment works? And until we bloody well try it all.
There you go. And you're hitting it right on the head. So we're talking right now about two pieces of equipment similar in make, not one recording and one not. Well, that's true for right now, but when we start using all different kinds of equipment, we might be able to narrow that down into what works better. Now, Bobby Garcia brought up a really good question. Are we talking about protocols or standards? Actually, two different things, Bobby. When you've got protocols, it means basically a structure. You need to start each EVP session with date, time, who's there, where's your location, so that you have a starting point. That would be a protocol. A standard would be the mere fact that we are following all of these rules in order for the evidence to be submitted and properly looked at and compared, if that makes sense. So you get protocols, as the way I'm seeing it anyway, is the actual physically doing it, and the standards are what we all agree to. We have to abide by these protocols for the evidence to all be commonly looked at. Does that make sense, guys?
Can I How I
Yeah.
see it,
Sure.
a protocol is a set of instructions by which you conduct an investigation.
Okay.
That's a protocol. A
Mhm.
standard is not running around like a TV moron saying, here, ghosty, ghosty, ghosty. A standard is behaving in a professional manner.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. I totally agree with you. Dan Squatch, scientific community will never accept the field as legit, same as the Bigfoot world. We aren't
Too right.
scientists. They will risk it.
Absolutely spot on,
So
because
then why-
I have
okay.
I've taken shit from both paranormal
Okay.
and Bigfoot
Then
because they will not accept it.
Then here's a question: why do we do it? This
Because I
leads
know
it-
it exists. I know it exists.
Okay.
It's that simple. I know it exists, and I'm damn well going to find something which is going to convince other people out there that it's worth looking at.
There you go. There, you and I are in total agreement there. If we're not going to take, and this is just my opinion, folks. Please, I am not the keeper of all knowledge. This is just my humble opinion.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm not.
This
No, I'm not.
is El Supremo, Larry Lawson speaking.
Don't you ever say that.
Pay attention to this man.
No.
It will be Bible one day. His protocols will be written up, and everyone will obey. No, I'm joking. Of course, I am joking.
Thank you for that. I just brought something up very important. And also, if you're a tenured professor and spend a life teaching and selling books on your beliefs, you'll never admit you were wrong all this time. And that is so true. Being a college professor myself and department chair for criminal justice at Indian River State College, I totally agree with you. I totally agree.
They'll also nick your research.
Yeah. Now, Debbie just brought something up under the. I think
Hello,
she's
Debbie.
answering why. Hi, good old Debbie. Oh, Debbie, pretzels and bread. I
don't know. I mean, the chances of me getting out there to try pretzels and bread is just.
Well, we're going.
When you're over here, come and try Judas bread. Sage and onion bread is just wow.
Okay. Well, now once we go see them, we got to take them over to England with us. Now,
absolutely,
Debbie.
yes, please.
Debbie brings up a good point. I think she's answering the question: why do we do this? Because we love it. And this is where everybody's a little bit different, I think. Why do we love it? I love it because, to me, it's the greatest mystery of all kind that I have this drive to solve. It's the, I won't say crime, it's an investigation, a mystery that I want to solve. Some people love it because of the excitement. And you know what? There is a place for everyone in this business. And you've heard me use the term before, paranormal thrill seekers. And that's folks that just enjoy going out on the weekend, catching some EVPs, maybe having some evidence.
And 4 or 5 beers.
Like tonight.
And a curry or a chili.
There's
it's chili over there, isn't it?
Yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if we're going to advance the field, if we're going to find out whys, and that's where I'm coming from, that's why things like the International Bureau of Paranormal Investigation Research is not for everyone. There are folks out there that are satisfied. I heard that, Chris. There are folks out there that...
It's filthy, but you like it. That stopped you, didn't it?
Yeah, I did. Right in my tracks. For me, solving the mystery, finding the answers is important. For some folks, it's not the answer. Some folks just want to make contact because maybe a loved one. Maybe they just enjoy the thrill. I mean,
yes, there is a lot.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, why do people jump out of perfectly good airplanes? Because there's a thrill to it. So I'm not. So there's something in it for everyone. Where I'm coming from. And the mantra that I'm professing is, if we're going to continue doing this, I got to have a why. I got to have a why. I got to understand it better. And the only way to do this is to conduct an investigation. Mark asks, Chris and Lawrence, Larry, please.
Gosh, Lawrence, what? Yes, rather.
Yes, quite. Lawrence is my name.
Absolutely, yes, rather.
What level of protocol would you use? The answer to the question there is really found if you go to our website, www.ibpir.org. It lays it out right there. The protocols that I prefer to use and what I'm professing is that we come up with a standard procedure for conducting an investigation. Now, that doesn't mean you have to say things a certain way. You have to do things our way. There's all sorts of different ways, but there are certain parameters, i.e., if you do a dowsing rod session, if it's going to be submitted into evidence, and I'll explain that in just a second, it has to be videotaped. Why? Because you got to see what's happening. In order for it to be considered evidence, you got to be able to see it. If you've got an audio,
before you go on, can I just bring up?
Let me finish. If you just audio tape it,
spit out my dummy.
If you just audio tape it, then you run into the question of, did it really happen? So things like dowsing rod sessions. Okay, go ahead.
What I was saying a while back about dowsing rods, probably last week, with your protocols in mind, what works? Are you using stainless steel dowsing rods? Are you using copper dowsing rods? Are you using copper cord dowsing rods? Are you using dowsing rods with amethyst crystals? Are you using dowsing rods with quartz crystals? And it all needs documenting. What are you using and what works?
Exactly. And in fact, I talked to the girls at Doodlebug Dowsing about that during the investigation, and that's something they're looking into. And I think that's a very legitimate thing.
It's important.
But once again, if you're going to use them, the results of what you're getting from them has to be documented.
And this is the one thing that this is the big bugbear I have. This is the huge one. People go out on so-called investigations, and that's it. You never hear diddly squat about it, apart from they'll say, I've been there and we didn't get anything, or I've been there and this happened and that happened. Mm-hmm. They've not written it up. They've not got any video evidence. They've not put a video online. They've not got any audio evidence. Right. It didn't happen.
And Bobby, Ike, I know you'll agree with me here. Spanky, you're a firefighter, but I know you're going to go the same way. If you don't document it, it didn't happen.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Doesn't need to be in a court of law if you don't document, and you have to document it at the time, because memory is tricky. Mm-hmm. And you'll elaborate on things, or you'll forget things, or X, Y, and Z, and somebody 20 years' time will say, do you remember when we had so and so and so? Oh, I forgot all about that. Yeah. So you documented it at the time.
Spanky makes a good comment here. He said, people that are non-believers can become believers once they experience something they cannot explain. And you know who's a good example of that? Spanky. His wife, and forgive me, Spanky. No, Spanky came to one of our events, a couple of years ago now. And I won't say he was a non-believer, but he was certainly skeptical. Once he began to see what we were doing, once he began to see the protocol in place, him being a fireman and I tell you, a brilliant man, I might add, he was able to see how this can work, and now he's one of my lead people. In fact, he's was out there Saturday night was the field boss for our investigation. So that's a great example of, if you have evidence that's properly obtained, and as he put, with parameters so they can be properly compared, now you're getting data that people can hold, that they can do something with. Now, Chris, you're in a different world, and I get that with being a medium, and I understand that that brings up a whole separate set of challenges. But it's really, really easy for us to say, can't do it, can't do it. Just, can't do it. I've been told that a gazillion times in the last several years. You can't do that.
I get told that every week.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to listen to that.
You tell someone about their mother or their grandmother or someone or other, and they say, "Oh, you must have been talking to my cousin or my wife or so and so, or you've read it on the internet." And I'm sort of thinking, well, get on with it, mate.
So how do we get past that?
I convinced you
of
mediumship.
No, actually, I believed in it beforehand. You gave me a better understanding of it. There's no question about it. But I'll tell you right up front, in the early days, I thought it was a bunch of hogwash. And I'll give you a perfect example. I was working a homicide case, and I must have gotten 15 calls from mediums that said the body's here, because we hadn't found the body. Body's here, the body's there, this person did that, and and none of it was correct. So yes, from a cop's point of view, I had some very negative points of view early on.
The body's in the river with bite marks in it.
I actually got one that was sitting under the dock, and of course I went right to the dock and it wasn't there. But my point being is, I had a real tough time with it.
Sorry, I was talking Green River. Sorry.
But then things began to happen that were completely unexplainable. And then I actually met with some mediums that told me things that they could not have known. And I began to change my tune. And then, of course, what really put me over the end was Evan and some of the things that he was starting to tell me. So
it's got to be a personal experience.
Exactly. So how do we then transfer this personal experience into hard data? I don't know the answer yet. I don't know. But I refuse, as a person, it's just me, to say it can't be done.
It's difficult. You've got to admit it's difficult. It's difficult.
If it was easy, we would have had the answers here. And
all I can say about it is that you have the medium go round with trusted people, 2 or 3, no more than that, to document what they're saying, but not when a general session is occurring. Because you get too many people, you'll get the medium is going to have a compulsion. Excuse me. To say, well, did you like that one?
Yeah. Hey, by the way,
I'll do another one in a minute.
Ike says you convinced him. Now let me tell you something. That's significant comment from Ike Enzi. You convinced him. That says a lot, my friend.
I just got lucky.
No, you see that
you've got to have the medium outside the main session. Because there's too many people who will suddenly say, "Oh, I felt that. I felt something goes. Something's played with my hair. Oh, I saw a light just exactly where you said it was," and you just put your head against the wall and start banging it.
And that's one of the reasons why in the IBPIR protocol we've talked about mediums go through it first. They go through with somebody filming them,
and
but they don't tell. But they don't, huh?
I won't have that. I won't have anyone film me.
Okay,
that's just me. It's just a no. It's like on my videos. Have you ever seen me on my videos?
No, but I hear your voice.
Yeah, that's as close as I'll do.
Okay, well that's fine.
It took me ages, but what you need to do afterwards.
Good question, Debbie.
Have the medium in the control center talking to you.
Saying, check that spot out, put a K2 there, that type.
Yeah.
And that's part of our protocol too. Walkthrough has to be videoed. It's got to be documented somehow. And then afterwards, you don't tell anybody in the group what it is the medium saw, but they sit back and they are allowed to say, I would put a mel meter there, I would put a REM pod there, that type of thing.
Listen to what they're saying. If you're in this building and you've got 50 rooms and 2 floors and 3 staircases and a small cellar, listen to what they're saying when they say that staircase is active, the other 2 not so much. That room up there on the right is active, something's building in there, and the cellar is a little bit iffy. So you listen to what they're saying and you plan your investigation after they've said it.
Debbie Enzi has a really good question that you need to answer. What's the difference between a medium and a sensitive?
I don't think there is one.
I don't think there is either, but I'm not qualified to answer that.
I mean, I personally, I don't like the term medium.
Why?
I just don't. It's got connotations with it of this fraud sitting over a tarot deck with a crystal ball at the side in dim lighting, sort of saying, "Come on, dearie, give us some money and I'll tell you all about it." If anybody knows me, I will not take money for anything I do.
Yeah.
I don't like the term medium.
No paranormal
sensitive,
team really should take any money.
What's the difference? You've got to be sensitive to be a medium.
Okay. So I hope that answers your question, and I agree with him, Deb. To be honest with you, I think it's just a question of names. But I appreciate that. So anyway, that's
a question of money. We all want money. All mediums are corrupt, wanting money.
I am cautious, and this is the cop in me. I am cautious of any storefront medium. Now there are some places that are spiritual centers. That's not what I'm talking about. But when I'm driving down the road, and I'm not saying they're all bad, but this is just me as a cop. I see a sign that says "Readings by Mary" in a little house. to me, red flag, red flag, red flag, that it's a certain group of people that are trained to bilk you out of your money by telling you what you want to hear. So that's a good point.
I've always maintained you get what you don't pay for.
Touche.
Literally.
Bobby Garcia said, yeah, Houdini never liked mediums. He didn't. He thought they were all fake. You're absolutely right, Bobby.
Now. Can I take you up on that one?
Okay.
The Houdini code was cracked by a medium.
Please tell.
I can't remember his name. It's dragging memories up from unimportant areas. The code was cracked. Like he always said, he'd come back with a code to give to his wife to prove that it existed. And it did. It's been proven. His wife was given the exact code by a medium.
Wow, I'd like to research that one. I got to answer a quick question here.
It's something called "How I Cracked Houdini's Code" or something like this online.
Okay,
I'll find it for you.
Debbie also would like to know, what do you call a person that sees ghosts and shadow figures? That could be any of us. He's kidding, Debbie. He's had too many beers.
It disturbs me. I tell you, every time it disturbs me. No. I don't call them anything. I call them normal. Because, to tell you the truth, I've seen things as far back as I can remember. Even in my cot, I've seen spirits. All my life. Then people are normal. People hear things which other people don't hear. People smell things which other people don't smell. It doesn't mean to say that there's anything different in them, apart from they have another ability or it's heightened. They're normal. Completely normal.
And I'll be honest with you, Deb. And Chris likes to argue with me about this one too, but I'm as sensitive as a rock. I need hard evidence. See, in your sense, I am. But I personally saw my first full-bodied apparition.
If you can't scratch a window with it, I don't accept it. Yeah.
I saw full-bodied apparition in the Dade County Jail when I first got in law enforcement. I've seen 2 full-bodied apparitions in the Marsh Landing, and I've seen at least one absolutely unquestionable shadow figure in a cemetery in the middle of Florida. And I am not a medium. So I think that given certain circumstances and conditions, it can happen to just about anybody. But I also think you also have to have an open mind to it. I mean, for years, it's just like I was just seeing things, or I must be tired. But I've had some very specific instances that I cannot explain. And I've only had one. Okay. So
how many is that? Just one?
Just one.
Dear. I think I might have to go and get another one.
No, I think you've had enough. So
not tonight, man.
Let me kind of finish up a little bit with where we're at with the International Bureau of Paranormal Investigation Research. And I don't want folks to be confused. We didn't start another team. This is not an investigative team. Our main investigative team, the Florida Bureau of Paranormal Investigations, we're the ones that go out and do investigations on our end. But the IBPIR is meant to be a collection medium, if you excuse it, a collection spot where folks that are part of the team, part of the operation, can do investigations. They do have to agree to follow the protocols. That way we keep everything nice and clean and there's a structure to it. And when we compare the evidence, when they submit the evidence they find into the data bank, the cloud-based data bank, it's open to everybody in the team, in the entire team, whether there's 5 or 500, can look at that evidence and see it. What we will then do is, as we collect the evidence, we will compare it with others. Let's say a year from now, we have 1,000 pieces of evidence in there, and we type in there evidence collected on a full moon where the temperature was between 40 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was cloudy. Type those parameters in. It will give us all the information that was gathered under those parameters. That's comparative data. Now we're hoping to find some sort of commonality there. If people are getting more information when it's a full moon as compared to when it's a new moon, winter as compared to summer, when the solar activity is high as compared to low, Now that begins to give us some data to work with. Now, where that leads us, that remains to be seen. But Chris, you brought up a good point earlier with equipment. One piece of equipment gets an EVP, but the next one, and this has happened to us, where we had two recorders next to each other. One picked up a clear EVP, while the other one sitting right next to it didn't. Mm-hmm. But both recorders actually got the question that was asked. How does that happen? We don't know yet. But maybe we can get to the point where we find
that cameras record images with the lens cap on?
I've never seen that one. So,
there's so many. This is. As soon as I start to have any slight understanding, they change the bloody rules on me.
Well,
that's the only way of looking at it.
We got to be
I have got to go to the toilet. So you'll have to excuse me. Sorry, I'm going to go and use the restroom. What? Yes, rather.
Yeah. It looks like you need it. While you do that, I'm going to answer some questions here.
I was going to point Percy at the porcelain, mate.
Yeah. Spanky brings up the shadow at the Marsh Landing. Yeah, Spanky and I both saw that same shadow, but actually, I think 2 or 3 weeks apart, walking across the hall in the kitchen area of the Marsh Landing restaurant in Fellsmere, Florida. And this is a place where we've had some of our most spectacular evidence. The lady in purple was in there, some great EVPs, and certainly he and I have experienced that same shadow person in the same spot. Thanks for bringing that up, Spank. Let's see. Debbie says, go for it, Chris. I guess that means to go to the restroom. M18 asks, Chris, if you visit someone's house, and we're going to have to wait for him to come back to answer this. If you visited someone's house and you detect a spirit there, would you mention this to the owner, or would you keep it quiet? I'm going to let Chris answer that in a second, Mark, but I'm going to kind of give you my point on it. It depends of why we're there. If I'm there visiting a friend and I see something, or my boss or something, I see something, I probably wouldn't say anything. Why? That's not what I'm there for. It's not my place to necessarily bring that up. If we were there because somebody has asked us to come and say, is there an issue in my house? I've had these things happen. Yes, I would tell them. So that's my take on it. Some people have a tough time with it, and some people already know. Get another beer. Okay, I got you, Deb. Some people want to know what's going on, and some people want to turn a blind eye. And I think that's one reason why some people are more likely to see something than not. There are some folks that are absolutely, they want no part of this, and they don't want to see or hear anything no matter what. Other folks do want to know. Now, Chris, the question to you from Mark was, if you visited someone's house and you detected a spirit there, would you mention this to the owner, or would you keep it quiet?
I can't help it. I've got to tell them.
Okay.
It's that simple. I can't help it. If they ask me to come in, I'll A, tell them what's there, and B, I'll do something about it if I can.
Well, what if you were going over there, they just asked you over for a spot of tea?
I can't help it. I can't help it. I just say, do you know there's an old woman in the corner? People who ask me for tea know what I'm like. People who don't know me are worried by me.
Fair enough.
It's true, isn't it? It's true, because I can't. It's like in the Golden Fleece when I was there. I can't help it. I've got to just tell you. I've got to tell you that so-and-so's happening. And, look, did you look down that corridor?
But don't you think society's changed along those lines, Chris? There are
not
a lot
over
more
here,
open.
it hasn't. No, not over here. Maybe over there. I mean, America's always more avant-garde than we are. It's always more open. Even in the Bible Belt, they're more open about things. But over here, it's very, no, can't have the neighbours know we've got a ghost. No, never go down very well in the Conservative Club, will it? No. So don't mention it.
You haven't found more folks more talking. I mean, when I was over there, I saw it advertised. I mean, the London ghost tours seem to be doing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. But these are all these pay your money now and come on a ghost tour and have 15 pints beforehand, come on a ghost tour and then have pie and mash on the way home. Oh, it's just nauseating. I'm sorry, it's nauseating. It drives me up the wall. It's nauseating. It's as real as a sort of raspberry flavored blancmange. It really is just awful. You know.
Well, I ran into something online. I may have mentioned it last show, but it really took me by surprise. at least in this country, I'm finding law enforcement agencies are a little bit more open about talking about it. When I first came on, you didn't discuss this at all.
Mhm.
Now we're talking about it more, but I found a website. It was called the Ghost Stories of Honolulu PD, and this is a group of stories that is produced by the police department about the hauntings that their officers have encountered in their precincts, in their beats. Now, I grant you a little bit different. A little bit different atmosphere over there, where the folks are very spiritual and very in tune with beliefs of their ancestors. So I see that as being a little different here. But I was really shocked to see these. I mean, the professional videos coming from Honolulu PD about the ghosts that their officers have encountered. So I thought that was kind of fascinating, and I can't help but believe that it's not a little more like that over in your neck of the woods.
No, it's sort of like all the experience I and others have had in hospitals. You don't talk about it. Hospital trusts don't want people to know that their hospitals are haunted.
And we get that here. We get that here. What about Ireland? Do you have an opinion on
Never
Ireland?
been there.
Well, but have you talked to folks from there and their opinions on the paranormal? And do they look at?
No, it's very strange. No, I haven't. I've talked with the Scots, and I've talked with the Welsh, but not with the Irish. Apart from John, and bugger. Another chap who sent me a load of book. He sent me his book in exchange for one of mine. Silly man, his book was worth far more than mine. Can't remember. No, sorry. I do apologize. I can't remember. It's the beer.
It's just the beer. It's the beer. It's just the beer.
It's the beer. It'll come to me in 10 minutes' time, and I'll go, it was so and so. I'm making too much noise, aren't I? Yes, indeed.
No, it's nice to see you so animated.
Will Lindsay, over in Ireland. I mean, he studied some of the airfields over there, and fascinating stuff. So, yes, I've had some dealings with Northern Irish, but not Southern Irish. So I don't know, but they've got the legends of the Seath, or the She, as it should be, the She and the sons of Mill and the Tuatha Danann. Or try saying that when you've had this meal. And it's interesting. They've got a far more sort of organic sense of the paranormal. It's part of their everyday life, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's kind of the opinion I had too.
Don't forget, because of my heathen leanings, shall we say, I'm in touch with the sort of pagan community as well. And the pagan community has a very earth-based, natural, psychic, spiritual world around them, rather than this enforced "thou shalt believe in." And so the people that I talk to most are sort of more, hey man, have you been to such and such a dell, and hey, have you sat down there and had a beer or two and felt the spirits? Yeah. And it's rather rewarding. You know, this culture goes right there. American Indians, I mean, or aren't I supposed to say that anymore? I've got to say American Indigenous or something bollocksy. They're the same. You know, you go and talk to them, you'll sit out in the fields, munch on a peyote cactus or something, and have a wonderful time and get in touch with X, Y, and Z. But they're just more in touch. They're more in tune.
Very much
because,
so.
Yeah. So
Spanky's really liking you this, by the way. He likes this Chris. It's full of life.
No, he's not. He's not. It's rare. It's very rare. It's very rare.
So tell me something, folks. I'm speaking to our friends out there, and you guys have been so loyal to us. You're on every Tuesday, sharing with us, talking with us. Chris and I really, really have appreciated.
I really have
loyalty. But tell me, we got about 10 minutes left. I want to know what you guys think about where we're going with all this. Do we just keep it as a fun thing to do? Do we try and find out? Do you kind of see things? Do you have any opinion on how I'm trying to take it and collect the evidence and try to find the answers? In the last 10 minutes, I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking and get your opinions and share it with the others.
He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Spanky. This Chris is full of life and full of beer.
You wait till you come over here. I'm going to have at least 5 or 6.
Well, you know what happened when I had 4.
And then you will regret it.
Yeah. So, But what I'm hoping to have happen with the IBPIR is that somehow we create a database by which people can compare evidence that has been commonly gathered or gathered in a similar fashion, so that we can maybe begin to find some answers. That's kind of what I'm hoping to have. It's not a new group. It's not anything that's. We're just wanting to share with others and maybe come up with the answers. That's kind of where
I'm still waiting for an advance copy of your book to read through. Come on, get on with it, that man.
I am this close. What he's talking about, folks, is the Ghosts of Indian River County. I've just about finished it up. Have not done much in the last few weeks, but I'm going to finish it up soon. And it has a lot to do with the ghosts that I've talked about here on this show: the Marsh Landing ghost, the Fellsmere ghost, a guy named Waldo Sexton at the Driftwood in Vero. We've got some folks up in Sebastian. We've got folks in Fellsmere and in Vero Beach. So when that book comes out, you guys will be the first to know. So Mark likes the idea, I think, of what I'm trying to do, and I know, Chris, you have some reservations, but I think these are all things that we can work through. And once we get going and we start working the protocols, we're going to find things that need to be changed, and that's one thing that we need from the folks out there that are doing it, saying, hey, this didn't work as well. I've got this idea. And that's one thing. And once again, if you guys want to see what this is about, www.ibpir.org. That'll give you the protocols that we're running with right now. But we want to hear from folks that are involved with the program to say, hey, why don't you try this? Or this might be a better idea. We actually have a whole thing in there on experiments, where if a team comes up with an experiment, let's share it. Maybe it's something we can duplicate with another team and maybe duplicate the evidence that's gathered. We don't know. But to say we just can't do it, why bother? It's just not in my personality. Gotta have purpose.
We're back to that stick again.
Yeah, well, I guess that sticks a little bit there. Okay, I admit that. But that's
I've got a tool for that.
Yeah, no. Oh, okay. Debbie would like to know where she can get some of your books. Debbie,
you can't.
Yeah. Why?
Because they're crap.
Try Amazon, Deb. You'll be able to find some of them on there.
Debbie, would you like PDFs? Would you like PDFs of my books for nothing?
He'll send them to you, and trust me, they're worth it. He's very factual, very. No, they're not crap. Stop that.
They're shite.
No, they're not shite, which is English for shit. Oh, did I say that?
And if you want, I'll even include the book which hasn't been published.
Now, Ike said something good. He likes what we're doing. You can count on IDK, which is cool. They are free thinkers, and there's nothing wrong. This is not trying to inhibit free thinkers. We want free thinkers. We just want to document stuff. So any ideas you got,
Ike? Yes, document.
That's what it's all about. So I want to hear different ideas. I don't know all the answers. I don't even have even a fraction of the knowledge I need. But by all of us doing this together, maybe we can all help each other find these answers.
You're talking why I've put so many. Well, in the past, until somebody hacked my account, I had over 300 videos on my channel because it's documenting. It's saying I have actually been to these places that I'm saying I've been to, and then some people come along, hack my channel, and start scrawling things all over it, saying this is a pile of wank and such terms. Which, pardon me. Which made me say, sod it, I've had enough.
See, I'm too hard-headed. Debbie says, yep, she'll take some your PDFs, but she will pay, and I'm telling you right now, he's not going to let you. He's not going to let you, Deb. So just do him a favor. And
no, you're not allowed to do that either.
Debbie, if you can do you want... I'm trying to think how to do this. Do you want to give her your email, or do you want me to get it and pass it on to you?
Just send it to her. If you've got Deb's email, then pass it to me, and I'll just send a load of stuff.
Deb, do me a favor.
And do not blame me if you think they're crap.
They're not
don't
crap,
tell me
Deb.
they're crap. I don't want to know because I know they're crap.
Deb, ghostguy59@gmail.com. That's my email, ghostguy59@gmail.com. Ike's got it. Send me the email you want me to give to Chris, and he will give you the PDFs. Trust me, it's just easier to do it that way.
The first review I got on my first book. Do you want to know what it was?
What?
I'm so glad I didn't buy this.
You're not going to make everybody happy?
I don't make anyone happy.
Hey, Spanky, can you do me a favor? Put the IBPR website on there too. I saw you just put up with the. We are on Facebook now. They're already. Oh, there we go. All right.
Different shaped bottle. No, same sound. No good.
So another question for everybody out there: do you like the sedate Chris or the oiled up Chris? Please, this is in the last couple of minutes. This is your opportunity to tell us what Chris you like better. Plain Chris or oiled up Chris? We're taking a vote now. So
this happens very rarely.
Yes, so that's why we're.
It's only because it's the end of the season.
End of the season, but not, guys, not the end of us. Now we are going to change things up a little bit. We're going to come on once.
Oh, it might be tomorrow. I'll tell you, it might be the end of me tomorrow.
What's going to happen is a lot like what Ike does. Ike puts one up about once a month. That's what we're going to do. But we're going to feature investigations, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what worked, what didn't work.
But that was the original brief, but we got absolutely stymied with this coronavirus.
Well, and I got sick in January.
Got sick. And then I got pissed off by people hacking my channel and telling me what I was. And,
Nobody's voting on whether they like oiled up Chris or quiet Chris. Nobody's voting. Nobody's got
Don't blame them.
on this? Oh,
I don't dare because I'll
Ike votes for oiled up Chris. He says this is awesome. So there's one for oiled up Chris.
You sad man, you sad individual. You don't know what you're talking about. No.
Oiled up. Debbie likes oiled up Chris.
No,
the books are great. Yeah, you're right, Mark. His books are great. Now, if you're looking for a colorful narrative, if you're looking for it was a dark and stormy night, that's not how Chris writes, if you don't mind me saying.
No.
He is going to just give you the facts. But let me tell you, the facts are good. And Christine likes both Chris's, so I guess she's the middle of the road. So the Enzi family, we got 3. I'll give it 3 oiled up Chris's and 1 normal Chris. So that's the Enzi family. Oh, Bobby Garcia likes oiled up Chris. That's cool. Looks like oiled up Chris is going to win. I don't see Spanky and Dan. You have yet?
Don't blame him. No, don't blame him. No. You're lucky Judith's asleep, or you'll get a very loud Brian. Because I can hit those notes.
See, you got a big fan in the Enzi family here, Chris. They like you both ways, bud. And Debbie just came up, like I said, she likes you both ways. So, but
I don't do both ways.
Family show, Chris. Family show.
That stopped him dead. Yes.
And M18 wants you to do another book on airfield ghosts, and I would agree with that.
There's no more. There will be no more. There will be absolutely and utterly no more because I've had enough. I'm sick to death of them.
You just need a break, and that's what we're going to take now.
I'm honestly 20 years studying airfields. I'm sick to death of it. I am absolutely sick to death of it.
We'll work on them.
I want to do pubs.
Wow, that's so shocking.
I want to do haunted pubs. I want you to come over here for 6 months and we'll do some intensive study on haunted pubs. And it'll be haunted pubs and the real ales they sell.
Okay. Well, the Golden Fleece has that RAF.
See? And I saw an apparition there when I was with you.
You did. Well, we had a really interesting time when we were with Damien Freddy telling the stories up there. Oh, Debbie just ordered your books. So there.
You fool. You can get them for nothing.
Yeah, but This means Chris Costa just came in. Sorry we missed you, Chris. We're just about ready to call it quits, buddy. I'm sorry you didn't get here sooner, but watch the beginning of the show. Some really interesting information on there, Chris. And believe it or not, my friend, we're past our time already.
No, we can do another half an hour. Go on.
I don't know if you're going to fall flat in your face if you.
I'm not. I'm way away now. I'm thinking about another beer.
He's going to be up all night. But unfortunately,
I'm going to be up all night.
Yeah, well.
So ask Debbie if she wants my. Sorry, I can ask her myself. Would you like the book which hasn't been published? There's a whole book which hasn't been published, which somebody promised they were going to publish for me, and they never did.
Well, you can do a lot of it you can publish it in ebook.
I can't be bothered. Not after the experience with the last publisher. I can't be bothered with anything of it. I'd rather give it away.
Yeah. Well, everybody's liking the pub research idea.
Yeah,
Heather's liking
everyone's welcome. All you've got to do is come over to England. We'll do the north of England. We'll start off with County Durham, then do Yorkshire and work our way down to Lincolnshire and then Nottinghamshire and then East Anglia, down to Essex, end up in London for a while, down into Kent, and then you can go over to France if you want. That'd be good.
Well, that's not a bad idea. Maybe we will do it.
If you start your tours coming over here, we'll combine it with pubs.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just to let you guys know, before A, I got sick, and B, the COVID-19 hit, we were actually working on a collaboration with Chris and I. I don't know where Rick came from.
Who's Rick?
I have no idea. Chris, but Chris and I were actually putting together a tour.
Okay, Daisy.
From here. There, yeah, you got me. But we were looking at putting together a tour from the U.S. to go on over to England and start from New Zealand.
Yeah. Well, if I'm Rick.
Okay, all right. So I'm a little tired too. So at any rate, we're still looking at maybe doing that in the future, but we'll have to see what happens.
Jedburgh Jail calls. Jedburgh Jail is worth visiting. My favorite place. Well, no, it's not my favorite place. My favorite place is Middleham, of which the videos are going online now.
Yeah,
but Jedburgh Jail is haunted as hell.
And your website is Mediums and.
No, that's crap as well. So
no, it's not. It's.
If anybody knows me on here, they're linked to my Facebook account. And there is a Medium investigates the Facebook, investigates the paranormal on Facebook, and they're all going on there. Anyway.
There you go. And
Medium investigates Facebook. I like that.
Yeah. So anyway, go check the Middleham Castle there. But yeah, Jedburgh Jail. I want to see that. It's going to be quite the show.
Well worth a visit. I mean, there's many other places around to come and see, but Jedburgh Jail is. I've never seen anywhere. To give you an idea of what that place was like, I processed the EVPs from it, and after a lot of voices were coming through saying what they'd like to do to the women in the party, one creepy voice came through saying, "I want to torture one." So, yeah, I won't let any time that women are with me, I won't let women go in the cells alone.
Well, that will be the first one. Hey, just keep your eyes peeled, guys. Hopefully we're going to still do that tour, but it probably will be a little bit of time when all this
3 years, yeah.
It could be 3 years. I won't last that long. Hey, Chris, unfortunately, I got a call tonight. Ryan's got to go take a test.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know. Good luck, Ryan. I'm absolutely rooting for you.
Yeah, he's going to do fine. He's got to do fine. I'm proud of both you and Wendy, Ryan. Good luck, and you got a bright future, guys. And with that, folks, we're going to call tonight the end of this first season, but we're going to be back. We're going to be back in August with a little bit different format, maybe show you a little bit about what we're doing and get some thoughts from you on things that we could do differently or that you like that we do.
I can get out as well. So if I can get out to sites, and we'll start talking about that as well over here.
Yes. So you're going to start hearing both.
Start discussing our findings.
Exactly. So that's what the future holds. Remember, watch Ike Enzi on IDK Paranormal. Share it with your friends. I mean, most of us on here, we've talked about it a bunch of times, but make sure you share it with your friends. Also, do you have any haunted places in Miami or Tampa Bay? Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, they don't have them over there. No,
Yeah, we've got, yes, Miami and Tampa are very, 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 very haunted. So with that, guys, we'll be back in August. Keep your subscription with us. Hit that little bell so the second the new date comes up, you're going to be first to be notified. And make sure you share it with your friends and let them know that this is the place where folks can come together and just talk about what's on their mind with the paranormal. And where else are you going to see Batty on the computer? So thanks. Appreciate everything, guys, your loyalty.
Sorry.
And with that, we're going to call it a season, but season 2 starts in August. So keep your eyes peeled, and we'll be back. And appreciate your loyalty, appreciate your friendship, all you guys. If you're interested in what we're doing, www.ibpir.org. And certainly you can get us on Facebook at the Florida Bureau of Paranormal Investigation, or even check out our other website at www.paranormalfbi.com. So.
And if that fails, check the FBI files. We're both on there.
Good night, folks. We'll see you in August. Take care. See you on the other side.
Is that it, Ryan?